Hello everyone, this is the Agent Lab. Friends, as you know, Dafuk Boom has posted part 2 of episode 68 of Skibidi Toilet, and I was really shocked when I noticed this link on the board, which takes us to the secret episode. Many of you are probably already aware of what's on the link, but we'll have time to talk about that later today. First of all, let's uncover the episode itself as a whole, as we saw a lot of very interesting details and secrets in it. Well, and besides that, after watching it, there are a couple of open questions left that I'd like to answer. For example, who is the traitor here? For what reason did the plunger camera start malfunctioning at this point? And most importantly, what was Dafuk Boom doing inside the Skibidi Toilet lab? The analysis was intense, so I advise you to watch from the beginning to the end, without rewinding. In the opening scene, we can immediately notice how cool it is that our agents kill the Skibidi Toilets. The speaker man does it with a baton, the big cameraman with an elegant neck-breaking technique, and the regular cameraman with a shot from an electric cannon. And of course, traditionally, at the end they flush the toilet. After that, by the piston, we can understand that all this part of 68 episode we see on behalf of Plunger. And when he approaches the door, we can again notice the logo of Skibidi Toilets, which we have already seen in episode 67. Next, the red cameraman shows the regular cameraman that he has a special device to open doors, which he demonstrates. The moment he uses it, you can see that the color of that beam is green, which is the characteristic color of Dafuk Boom. And along the way, at the beginning of episode 67, when we saw another mysterious character next to Dafuk Boom, that character was a red cameraman. And it was most likely Dafuk who gave this device to him. And that's why at the end of episode 67, the Red Chamberlain was already inside the lab before anyone else. So, it turns out he teleported the red cameraman inside, and asked him to open the door with this device. And basically he's helping the agents, it turns out. Or did he do it for personal gain to get them killed? What if Dafuk Boom and Red's plan was for the other agents not to get into the lab, and Red Cameraman is just playing nice because he doesn't want to show his real face, even though he's actually a traitor? I have a very cool theory and clue about this, especially considering two other facts. First, when we saw the first leak of the shot on Dafuk Boom's Instagram, there was the phrase, "Not everyone is on your side," which could refer to the red cameraman, since we see him in this shot. And secondly, in this part, we can spot Dafuk Boom right inside the Skibidi Toilet's lab. We'll talk more about that just a little bit later. But first, don't forget to put a like under this video if you want to see the full theory about the red cameraman and his connection to Dafuk Boom, in which I will tell you all the secrets of their plan and what they are up to. Let's get 100 likes under this video. The usual cameraman wanted to shake hands with Red for helping them with the gate, but he gets nothing in return, so he decides to just show the likes. When the door opens, 3 Skibidi guards can be spotted. One of them was even wearing a red blinker, which he most likely signals in case there are passers-by in the lab. And interestingly enough, they start yelling Skibidi the moment they see the agents. Before the doors were opened, they were in silent mode. This was also done so that as many Skibidi Toilets as possible would become aware of the agents walking around the lab. However, our agents are not dumb and immediately realized that we had to shut their mouths. 2 got hit in the head with an electric cannon, and the main guard was silenced by the piston of our plunger. We are very lucky that the Skibidi Toilets did not hear the voices of the guards, so we continue our journey. Once again, the gates are opened by a red cameraman, although note that this time no one asked him to do so. He's already putting the agents where they need to go, as if he already has a plan and knows the lab by heart. Also, a little suspicious. Plunger even points his finger, like to go in there, to which Red responds with a nod of his head. But Plunger is not an ordinary guy, he must have suspected something. So when he saw the workers Skibidi, he realized that he had to go forward. And what do we see at this point? The red cameraman tries to stop us, like he doesn't want us to see what's going on around the corner. Next we see a Skibidi Toilet assembly line. Interestingly, the big cameraman with the bazooka was about to shoot, but the plunger clearly hinted to him that he shouldn't get caught. We have to do everything quietly, otherwise, if we're spotted, we'll be in trouble. And then the most unexpected thing happens. Our plunger's camera starts to glitch, and the video recording error message appears on top. I'll remind you that this entire segment is being recorded and sent to the television airing of part 1 of episode 68. And notice that the interference is green in color. The exact same interference we saw in episode 67, when Dafuk Boom projected himself in front of us. But why is Dafuk Boom interfering with the agents? What is he trying to hide, and why is he trying to disable the plunger's camera? I'm about to tell you, folks. First, let me explain why I'm sure that Dafuk Boom did it. In addition to the green noise on the screen, this moment with the green glow also supports this theory. Dafuk is most likely right here, which is why we're seeing his distinctive green glow. It's also because prior to this interference, the Skibidi Toilets were unaware that agents had infiltrated the labs. Dafuk may have been trying to disable the camera, and when he failed and realized that if he did nothing, the plunger would likely see him, he decided to declare a lab-wide emergency. As you may recall, in my opinion, there are two different Dafuk Booms in the Skibidi Toilets universe. One helps the agents and the other helps the Skibidi Toilets, but doesn't want to be known. You can watch the analysis of episode 67, by the way. I already talked about this theory there, and I don't want to repeat myself. So let's continue. And of course, I couldn't avoid this passphrase. Here we can notice two actors from the very popular series, Breaking Bad. I will not go into details about what this series is about. I think those who watched it already know everything well without me. After that, we see that the big cameraman saves us with a shot at a box on the roof, which distracts the Skibidi Toilets. And at the cost of that, the red cameraman manages to close the gate to his devices. As we run to the right, we can spot a bulletin board with random letters below it. At first, it may seem that these symbols don't mean anything. However, it's actually a reference to a secret Godzilla episode that I've already shown you in a separate analysis. This video was published on December 4th, and here we see that access to it only by link. That is, without the link, it cannot be watched. But as you can imagine, I was quite surprised to see Godzilla when I opened this link. After all, this video was first shown by YouTuber Ulitmix, and even when I personally asked Dafuk in private messages if he did this animation himself or if it was fan-made, Dafuk said he didn't do it. However, this video he threw on the same day as Ulitmix. Most likely, Dafuk just liked the quality of the animation so much that he thus decided to make a reference and asked Ulitmix to give him this animation to post on the link. Well, after all that, the agents escape down the same corridor, at the end of which appears a very powerful Skibidi Toilet with lasers. Note that he kills everyone in his path, even his own. Chances are, when the siren goes off, these creatures like this have only one goal: to kill the agents by any means necessary, regardless of what or who gets in their way. And after that, much to the dismay of the big cameraman, he fails to get into the elevator in time and gets hit hard with a laser. However, he manages to fire his bazooka before he dies, which helps save the rest of the agents, including the plunger. Since before his shot, we can see that he didn't care about the darts and electricity hitting him. Of course, it's sad to realize that for 2 episodes in a row, really strong and tough agents have died. Last time it was the big speaker who saved the agents when they went into the lab. And this time, it was the big cameraman, who managed to save the agents several times during the last 2 episodes and died a heroic death too. By the way, it's on his behalf that we've seen the entire 67 episode, and it's cool that Dafuk pays such good attention to detail. After all, we remember from episode 67 that he put a lens on himself against the fake scientist's TV, and here we can see him pulling out that lens and giving it to the plunger. And, at the end, shows us the Barker one last time. In the last scenes you can see that there are only 10 agents left, namely red cameraman, twin speakers, black speaker, and 5 regular cameramen with a plunger. After opening the elevator doors, we see a creepy corridor in red shades, and I have no idea what could be around the corner, so be sure to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell, in order not to miss any new videos on my channel, as we will be talking about it many more times in the next videos and building theories about future episodes of Skibidi Toilet. And while the new videos are being prepared, I recommend watching my analysis of the secret episode with Godzilla if you haven't watched it yet. Thanks for the likes and views. See you all soon.